Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make grilled pizza. You can do it homemade or you can just buy store-bought dough, but here, let's get to it. So first you're going to flour a nice clean surface or a cutting board, and then you're going to plop your dough right on there and then just knead it out so it's nice and good. Next we're going to cut up some nice toppings. So we're going to be using some onions, peppers, and ham for our pizza, for a nice grilled pizza. If you're making this type of pizza, first you're just gonna put the onions with some olive oil onto a little pan, and you're just gonna heat them up a little bit. You're gonna wanna cook them till they're nice and soft, but not really brown, just nice and soft. Now we're just kneading our dough a little bit more so it'll be nice and flat for the pizza. So we're just pressing it down with our fingers. You can use a rolling pin, but I like to use my fingers. We actually homemade this dough, like from scratch, but you can also use store-bought. Now we're just rolling out the dough to make sure it's nice and flat and good, because you want to have it nice and crispy on the grill. After you roll it out, you just make sure it's nice and flat and good. You just pat it down like this. Make sure you check on your onions so they don't get burnt on the bottom. Just stir them around a little bit every once in a while. Just a tip for when you're cooking it on the grill, you want to make sure you have nice and warm sauce. It's because the pizza cooks really fast and the sauce might not be all the way heated up when you are done with it. Now we're just taking our ham out. Just take a few slices, you know, how much you want. If you want a lot, you can use a lot. Now we're just gonna cut up our pepper. Remember, you just take the stem out like this. Just poke it around so you can get the stem out. Put it in the compost. Now you just cut it open down the middle. And remember to get all the seeds out because you don't want a seedy pizza. That would be gross. Reminder to stir your onions up so they don't get all burnt. There's a little brownness, but that's still okay. Wash your peppers off so all the seeds will be completely off, just to make sure. Perfect. Now we're just going to cut our peppers up into little slices like this. We can cut them up smaller later if we want to. Oh, we missed a seed. Get that out there. After you cut them out into lines, you just chop the other way. It's pretty easy when you do them all at one time. Okay, now we're finished cutting them all up, and we just put them all into a bowl. Make sure you get all of them out. Remember to turn your onions off when they look like this, because you don't want them to burn anymore. Now we're just warming our sauce up, like I said before, so we'll have a nice sauce on the pizza and it won't be cold when we grill it. Just put it on to like 2 or low. Okay, now we're starting cutting up the ham. We're just going to do the same as the peppers, just cut it into strips and then cut the other way. You can just bunch them all up together like this. It's easier. Into nice little pieces. They don't all have to be perfect. Okay, now they're all cut up and good. So perfect. Okay, so now we have all our toppings laid out nicely. Okay, now we're getting some cheese out. I think we have some Monterey Jack, some mozzarella, and some Parmesan. So now you're just going to grate them all up. Just do as much as you like. You can never have too much cheese except if you put too much. This is all our mozzarella that we're using. We're using a lot because mozzarella is really good on pizza. Now we're just grating up the Monterey Jack. We're just going to use not as much, but you know, a good amount. Who's a good boy? Now we're grating up the Parmesan. Yes, that's what I keep on forgetting what it's called. But we're not going to use a lot, just as much as the Monterey Jack. Yeah. You can stir your sauce once in a while just to make sure it's nice and good. This is the final amount of cheese that we're going to be using for this pizza. Nice mixture of everything. We're going to be using oregano for the seasoning. Just put a little over the cheese. It makes a good, nice cheese. Nice, light, good amount, whatever you want. Who wants some pizza? So now the sauce looks about ready. It's nice and warm and good. We're just stirring it a last good stir. We're going to be using these spatulas to flip the pizza on the grill. We're gonna spread some olive oil on the dough too with just a little brush. Make sure you have a good preparation station with like everything out. So you can just go dip, 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 dip. Now we're gonna turn on our grill to about 400 degrees. Just get it nice, turn the gasoline on. Turn it to 400 and light it. And now it's just warming up. Okay, so now we're just putting some olive oil on the dough and just spreading it out with our brush so the dough will be nice and crispy and nice and good. So just spread it around with the brush, just all around. Okay, so now that it's all spread around, we're just gonna plop it down that way on there. You bring your dough outside with all your spatulas, and then you're gonna bring it to the grill. Now you're just gonna let it down like that, with oil side down. Nice. Now you're just gonna oil the top while it's cooking under. Just spread it all around like you did with the other side. Make sure it's all nicely oiled. You wanna have a nice crispy pizza. Now bring your cutting board outside so then you can put it onto the cutting board. Just close the lid so it can be nicely cooking. So you might be wondering that we forgot the toppings, but first we're just gonna cook it here, then put it back on the cutting board, bring it in, put the toppings on, and then put it back in here for a little bit. We're doing this process first so because it takes a while for the cheese to melt and you don't want like the crust to be burnt, so that's why. Now we're just gonna check under, see how it's doing. It's almost there. So now we think it's done, so now we're just gonna flip it over with these two spatulas. Yep, it looks pretty good. So you just get them both under on each side and then just go flip. That's a nice brown. Side, you don't want to cook it as long, so after we put the toppings on, we can keep it on this side and then it will cook the rest of the way. I think it's good now underneath. Looks pretty good. So now we're just gonna flip it with our two spatulas and put it back on the cutting board. Well, don't flip it, cause, yeah. Okay, so now we're just gonna put the sauce on and just spread it all around. Get every little bit of sauce out. So now we're just spreading it around nicely, all evenly around. You see that we have little chunks of tomato, but that's still fine. We'll just get some nice tomato. So now we're gonna put our oregano coated cheese. Well, yeah. And we're just gonna put it all over the pizza. Just spread it all nice around.
Did you just go and get?
We're gonna have plenty of cheese to go on this pizza. Make sure you get every last bit and spread it all nicely around, all evenly. Now we're just gonna spread the peppers around. So now we're gonna spread the ham around. And now we're just spreading the onions around. Oops, it's still fun. Since we have all the toppings on now, we're just gonna go back out to the grill. Now we're just gonna slide it right onto the grill. You can use your hands if you need to. Give it that extra push and just close the cover and let it cook. So we're gonna,
Should be another 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay, so just 3 to 5 minutes and just make sure the cheese is nice and melty. You just check it every once in a while.
Turn down the heat a little bit.
Yeah, just turn down the heat a little. Just get it a little high. Check it every once in a while to see if the cheese is good. Just check under it. Turn down the heat a little. So since it's so hot, we're just gonna turn off the heat. It still has a lot of degrees up still. So now the cheese looks pretty melty. We just check under it to see if it's good. So now you're just gonna take the two spatulas and move it around. Okay, so now I think it's ready for it to be taken out.
Maybe just another minute.
Okay.
Sorry.
So now we think it's done. So now we're just gonna put the cutting board like that and just carefully move it onto the cutting board. Perfect. And that's what the finished pizza looks like. Okay guys, thank you for watching how to make pizza on the grill. Please remember to subscribe and turn on the notifications so you'll get every video. So, I'll see you next time. Bye.